The last meal, and the first miracle. In a small, drought-stricken village called Zarephath, the sun beat down like fire, and every day felt like the last. Crops had long withered and the wells ran dry. A widow, weary and worn, moved slowly through the dust, her hands calloused from trying to stretch what little she had for her and her young son. That morning she had found only a handful of flour left in her jar, and a few drops of oil in a tiny jug. Just enough to make one final meal. She gathered a few sticks from the dry earth, tears stinging her eyes. Her son, no more than a boy, looked at her with hollow eyes that no child should have. She told herself she wouldn't cry in front of him, not today. She would bake this last morsel, and then she had accepted it. They would die. But as she turned back to her home, a stranger appeared at the village gate. He was dusty from travel, his eyes fierce and kind all at once. It was Elijah, the prophet of God. He called out gently, "Would you bring me a little water in a jar and a piece of bread?" Her heart sank. Bread, how could she explain what he was asking for? She looked at the ground, gathering her courage, and she said to him, trembling, "As surely as the Lord your God lives, I don't have any bread, only a handful of flour in a jar and a little oil in a jug. I am gathering a few sticks to take home and make a meal for myself and my son, that we may eat it and die." It wasn't bitterness in her voice, just raw, stripped-down truth, the kind that hurts more to speak than to hear. But then Elijah looked at her and said something so unexpected it stilled the wind. "Do not be afraid. Go home and do as you've said. But first make a small loaf of bread for me. Then make something for yourself and your son. For this is what the Lord says. The jar of flour will not be used up and the jug of oil will not run dry until the day the Lord sends rain on the land." She looked into his eyes and saw something deeper than need, a divine certainty. A quiet boldness that said this wasn't just a man talking. This was heaven knocking on her door. And against all logic, she believed. She baked the bread and brought it to him, then returned to her jar and jug. And when she looked, the flour was still there. The oil had not dried. Day after day, the miracle continued. Her son laughed again. Her home, once filled with despair, echoed with hope. Life returned not just to her pantry, but to her soul. Life lessons. Sometimes your greatest act of faith is to give when you feel empty. God often sends provision through obedience, not before it. Miracles are born in moments when fear gives way to trust. Bible reference, 1 Kings 17:8-16.
Thank you for watching and listening. When fear creeps in and life feels uncertain, remember, you are not alone. God is with you. So lean in. Trust His voice. Let His word guide your heart.